Welcome to the Washdown podcast, episode 63. Well, tonight, Chris, James, and I have a really great conversation, and we kind of were all over the place, but I think it turned out pretty well. We had a great time making the episode, and I hope you have a great time listening to it. Maybe learn a couple things like we did. So, yeah, if you like it, click subscribe, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Leave us some feedback. All right, here it is, episode 63 of the Washdown podcast.
If it's not Jeep or a podcast, he doesn't know what it is.
We were at a price shopper the other day getting food. And this lady, she asked, I literally forgot what she asked. And what was I making? I'm already drawing a blank. Oh, I was making chili. And she's like, how do you make it, honey? You do this and this or this? Or you make it spicy and good? This old little black lady in like one of those little power chairs. And I was like, honey, you know I make it spicy. She's like, that baby. I said, you know these white folks don't know how to eat real food. And she almost fell out of her chair laughing, and then followed by driving her chair around to every person in Price Chopper and telling the story, and we would hear her laugh from across the store. And a minute would go by and we'd hear her laugh again, and a minute would go by and we'd hear her laugh again. It was pretty funny.
I like spicy food.
Yeah, and I make spicy chili, so...
And then we can be friends.
You made it very clear the last time you were here that we were not friends.
What episode is this?
This will be episode 63.
I've made it very clear the last 62 episodes.
You haven't been here for 62 episodes.
All I know is I want to be here for episode 69.
If we don't...
The rest of them I don't care about, but that one I want to be here for. And if we get to the 400s, I want to be here for 420.
That's an episode I wish you drank again so we could all just be sitting just hammered drunk for episode 69.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't think that would go well.
You
remember that whole conversation we were having about controversy and...
Yeah. Delete.
Yeah.
No, we decided that's how we're getting followers. We're going to make a big controversy. No one knows who we are till we say something stupid.
I don't say things that are stupid.
That's why no one will remember your name.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
don't
think...
really care about that either.
I don't
do
think
my time, and I'm going to get out of here.
I don't think the temporary internet fame that we could possibly get by saying something shocking or whatever would make up for the pensions that we would all lose.
That's true.
Well,
and what can
we wouldn't because we're medics. You're expendable.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the problem now is not the medics. It's the EMTs to drive the ambulances. That's where the struggle is. So I've been told by chiefs.
That is true. I played a new game, and it's called just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait till they're mostly done filling the roster. And then put your name in for overtime, and they're like, well, now all we have is this EMT spot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Darn, I'll take it. Wait, that's shift when I get a lunch break too? Yeah, I got you, Chief. And then I look like the hero.
What's a lunch break?
You should try it sometime. It's glorious. I did it the other day, and I got a whole nap in it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's not the worst thing. I've pulled a couple of those shifts myself. It's nice. You get a lunch break, or you work out. You could work out and eat lunch.
There's something about like backing in the station when you're dog tired and like, you're on lunch, and I'm just instantly like,
You're instantly like that anyway. I've lost count of the number of times that I've found you asleep during or episodes or in between episodes.
I've not slept during episodes. I appear to sometimes be sleeping during episodes, but I in fact
it walks
not.
like a duck. It quacks like a duck.
It's a goose. I'm just saying.
Water runs off its back.
It's
probably a fucking duck.
It's a duck.
Or duck
See,
costume.
and that leads us into accountability.
Oh, is James getting a lecture? Is Dad
No.
Jeremy here?
I got a lecture there.
Oh, it might be Uncle Jeremy.
I got a
Oh.
lecture there. They're stupid.
You're gonna get another lecture.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'll throw this whole episode.
It won't be till after. See, I'm the guy that waits until 4:59 to fire you on a Friday.
Can't fire me if I quit.
If you quit, you don't get unemployment.
See,
I got 9 other jobs.
oh,
I'm going to make my own podcast.
With hookers and coke.
Every episode is episode 69 on my podcast.
That's Futurama reference, by the way.
I think he needs some brainworms.
I don't watch Futurama. I never got into it.
What was wrong with you?
Remember, he is young. He's younger than us, so it was kind of like
It was definitely in my
Started
age
in
group.
99.
I love Family Guy, and it started in 99.
You got to be smart to understand Futurama, though.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not smart. I'm just saying, like, of all
But you're
those
not smart.
of all those comedies, I thought Family Guy was the best, and I'm gonna throw it right out there with King of the Hill too. And The Simpsons kind of bore me sometimes.
King of the Hill is a classic.
I'm not saying I don't
I
like it.
King of the Hill.
I'm just like it's just. South Park, great.
No,
I do love South
I
Park.
never got into South Park.
I love South Park. I do love Family Guy, but I love
I
South
feel
Park.
like South Park is like potty humor for the sake of potty humor.
It used to be,
Yeah, they want to see what they get away with,
yeah, it used to be, but like
and they make fun. They make fun of everything.
the last 10 seasons, they've gotten pretty intricate in their
Yeah,
jokes.
there's a I think it's an hour special on them where they go behind the scenes and show you how they make an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes out on like a Wednesday, and they don't finish making it till Tuesday night or Wednesday morning because they wait and see what's going on in the world. That's what they make the episode about.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat and how intricate it is, and
I'll tell you the day I like truly fell in love with South Park, as bad as this is, was when they did the episode on Terry Schiavo. And I realized I was like, there's nothing they won't touch.
well, they made
I'm gonna bring that back to just because you can say something doesn't mean you should.
What, them?
Yeah, anybody. We've lost a level of class in this country that, I mean, people take it too fucking far.
They had a whole season called.
You know, that's
Hashtag
interesting.
cancel
That's
South Park.
interesting coming from the same person that I've also heard repeatedly say we're becoming a bunch of pansies in this country.
We are becoming a bunch of pansies in this country.
We're about to find out.
But those things aren't mutually exclusive. You're not a pansy if you have class.
I mean, they can be loosely related if you want to.
I mean, yeah, if you want to be liberal about it and
So I don't even think that. I mean, I think you like.
draw lines that don't connect, then yes, it's a straw argument.
I mean, you could clearly say that Dave Chappelle had no.
Straw man argument.
You could say
Yes.
Dave Chappelle had no class.
Why?
and that
'Cause
just
LeBron James going to score
And
860 points a game.
just because he says it doesn't mean it should be said. Yet, I think he brings the country together through comedy because everybody's fair game.
Okay, so tell me what Dave Chappelle has said that is controversial in all of his Netflix specials. What is it? Because I've watched them all. He's not saying anything controversial.
I think the biggest thing was
If you
for
take him
me,
out
it
of
was
context.
LeBron James. It was the LeBron James quote thing, not the quote, but his little skit on that.
So
And
I
Penguin.
don't find any of it controversial,
I don't either.
but I'm also not.
But and then again, you're trying to draw a comparison from stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is supposed to be making fun of everybody and all of that.
Why can't TV comedy be that way?
because it's targeted at kids.
South Park was never targeted for kids.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
I was never.
That's
Young
the majority.
adults.
That's
Now,
the
you
majority
could-
of people that fucking watched it. So
Yeah.
don't even sit there and tell me
That's
that
on
you,
the parents.
Yeah,
Seriously, if you don't want your kid watching something, that's fine. Don't let them watch it.
Comedy Central
There
was
was stuff when
never
I
a
was a
kids
kid.
network.
No, it never was. Drawn Together. I know you remember that show.
Nope.
That was terrible.
Yeah, nothing about. Now, I mean, you could have a conversation with Simpsons. Simpsons at times had references, but Simpsons wasn't even on a kids network.
It was on Fox.
Yeah. If we look at
Still
your
is,
if we look at your kids networks growing up, so Disney and Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Depending
they,
on the generation, Cartoon Network you can throw in
Yeah.
there
so
to a certain time for Cartoon Network. Like it was like 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
It
Adult
became
Swim. Yeah.
But even like South Park was always on Comedy Central and on later in the evening. And kids that shouldn't be watching it should be in bed because they got school. But if those kids did watch it, it's not the writer's fault. Just like a movie. Would you let your 5-year-old go watch a rated R movie? Or a 10-year-old?
No.
All right then.
But again, we're talking about they go way too far. There's a difference.
okay, define too far.
That's subjective, man.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
super subjective.
Your too far is
Right.
not my too far.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
Wait a second. Did we just become best friends? Are we on the same team?
Yep. Jeremy's out.
Okay. Fine. That's the way you guys want to have it.
If now, as an adult, do you want to say that making fun of the woman who basically became a vegetable and didn't have a choice for herself, and was caught in a huge legal battle amongst family members inappropriate? We can have that conversation.
I don't even think it's a conversation. It's fucking wrong.
But yet, the episode was funny.
Or are they doing it to shed light on something? That's a problem in the world.
Through humor.
So, Jay and I have talked about it. If I'm a veggie, pull the plug. Why incur the expense of keeping my body alive? I'm dead.
Right.
I have no brain function.
Mm-hmm.
Where my
I
parents...
think you're giving South Park a little bit too much credit of them
I don't.
trying
I
to
don't.
Why?
shed light on social issues.
I don't.
That's exactly
if
what
you're
they're doing.
that's in the more
Okay.
recent seasons, that's exactly what they do.
Those guys aren't dumb. It wasn't just dumb luck that they... Like, oh, hey, we got this idea, and they struck gold. They're not TikTok stars.
It's a lot like if you don't want
not social
something
media.
known, don't put it on the internet. If you don't want to have faults found in something through humor, don't do it because South Park will get a hold of it.
And that's the thing.
and
they do
you
it
get
very
on
well.
me about having a shaker that doesn't rattle, and yet you're drinking,
Well, if I was in my normal spot,
you'd still hear it.
nuh-uh, because I lower my volume whenever I take a drink
Well,
because I'm a professional.
Achilles said with a straight face. Can I go home?
yep.
I got enchiladas waiting on me.
Ooh, can I come to your house?
Fuck no.
I thought we had a moment earlier. Now you're just like,
Hang out with you and my wife, or just hang out with my wife? Sorry, dude. That's our time.
but it's me, bro.
We'll have our time later.
No, we never have our time.
It's because you never call me.
That's true.
I call you, I text you, and nothing.
That's
I get ghosted.
Yeah.
false.
Same
false.
thing.
False. The group chat does not count.
The group chat
absolutely
fucking
counts.
counts.
You're part of the group. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
What do you want?
So either participate or don't.
I participate.
Or you can
No, you don't.
de-participate.
No, you don't.
I just participate from afar.
That's not
I observe.
participating.
I'm an overseer. I'm an overseer of the chat. Making sure you two hooligans.
He's a moderator.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh.
He has to be in
It's
charge.
like he-
He has to be in charge of something.
Okay.
That makes it feel good.
Okay. Like he moderates our Facebook page.
I could take the Facebook page down.
It's not going to hurt my feelings. Nothing's getting done on it anyway.
Yes, huh?
That's where we get most of our views, dude. Don't do that.
Oh, I know. I can see the analytics.
Oh, I thought you don't do Facebook.
It's not the Facebook analytics. It's the analytics on YouTube. Shows me where people are watching it from.
Yeah, YouTube.
No. They're seeing it through Facebook.
Oh.
Which is
They are?
important.
So we need the Facebook page?
That
So I win.
No, you actually kind of lose because you're making my point.
Then I'm awesome?
No, that shit needs to
bad
be
at using
posted.
your Facebook.
Because guess what happens whenever the episodes aren't posted to Facebook? They don't get watched.
I can't believe you're going to air this argument now and your grievances
I was
on the podcast.
trying not to.
That's
I was
not
trying to have a
that doesn't
conversation
show good
about
leadership on your part.
trying to talk about leadership and accountability. And unfortunately, it is now impossible for leaders to hold people accountable.
Oh, whoa, wait a second. Wait a second.
So this is how we're talking about leadership by arguing.
So I'm gonna get yelled at for my drink, but we're not gonna talk about Sir Smacks a lot over there.
I'm not the one on trial here. Don't try to shift the blame.
It's your turn later.
Oh, I don't care. You know I don't
know.
care.
Unshameable.
Yeah. Listen here.
You picked two winners, let me tell you.
I know.
It's us fat kids. You can't shame us.
Yeah, we own mirrors, dude. We don't care.
Yeah.
You know why I'm fat? I like beer and I like food. And I don't like working out because it makes me sweaty. And then I smell. And I don't like it. Because
I'm going to let you in on
45 minutes in a shower.
I'm going to let you in on a
I
little
can't get my
secret.
fat ass out.
Let you in on a little secret. You smell anyway.
I do that on purpose so you don't sit by me. It's all strategery.
Oh, thanks, President Bush.
That's what we need right now. Some strategery.
I ain't no shit.
Be nice if we had that. We
So-
don't.
We can mumble our way through.
Now
it. We'll be
to
fine.
now to our topic of the night. We're doing that shit again. And by that shit I mean deploying our troops.
Yeah, it's too early to talk about that.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on.
We sent
quite
another
yet.
7,000 out of the states today.
Yeah. But there's still a lot of unknowns to where
Yeah.
It's 7,000 more families ripped apart.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree with it either, but
Not my call. I didn't make the call. It doesn't rest on my shoulders.
Right now, something needs to be done to stop what's going on. And unfortunately, that means you have to deploy people.
unfortunately, this was totally preventable. Absolutely preventable. So,
But let's not get all political here.
yeah.
Oh no, I was just looking at
I'm gonna point everybody to the
mental health aspect of our troops
Black
again.
Rifle Coffee podcast with Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller, and the Jocko podcast with Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller, who was formerly a battalion commander in the Marine Corps, and listen to what he has to say about our leadership in this country. So, yeah,
It's above my pay grade.
yeah. It was his pay grade, so he can talk on it with authority. So
I can't wait till one day. That's my goal. Is one day I can just say this is my pay grade. I don't have to say that's above my pay grade. I can say, oh, this is my pay grade.
I think you got to
Never.
start accepting accountability before your pay grade's going to increase.
I accept accountability.
Okay, give us an example. Because whenever we were sitting here the other night with Scott and we were talking about your Jeep, none of the problems with your Jeep were your fault.
Yeah, you can't use that episode.
Yes, I can.
No, you don't, because
It's recorded evidence.
Yeah, and in that evidence, you'll find I was accountable to myself because I brought up my own issues and my own flaws and addressed them. You'd have been so proud.
Doubt it.
Yeah, so I was very accountable to myself.
Okay, so what changes have you made?
He doesn't have his Jeep anymore. You can't break
That's
it.
because it's back in the shop.
You can't break it if you can't drive it.
I'm not spending money on it right now.
Did you figure out if it was actually the wheel speed sensor?
Kind of yes and no. I just replaced it and then put the super chip on it.
And is it driving right?
That's tomorrow's project that I'm not spending money on. But I'm trying to get ready for the weekend.
Well, good luck with that. I hope it works out for you. I really do. There's nothing worse than spending a shit ton of money on something and not being able to use it.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think it'll be good to go. Because basically we were just trying to... So it threw a code.
Mm-hmm.
The code was like improper gear ratio. So then I was like, oh yeah, we're basically trying to get this transmission to learn on 38s with 536 gearing and 3 working wheel spin sensors. Of course, the transmission's like, yeah, go fuck yourself, bro.
Your chip should have reprogrammed it.
I know that's why we reprogrammed it. So you don't listen when I talk.
I mean, you should have done that before you tried to drive it.
I rushed things.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a boring ass conversation.
He's done have a Jeep. He's salty.
No. Don't care.
Pull the microphone to your face so people can hear you make fun of us.
No.
Well, why don't you interject and change the direction of the conversation?
I tried to, and then y'all are like, yeah.
Well, you want to talk about fucking developing politics of right now that we're not educated enough to talk about. We
No,
don't know what's going on.
I was just going to talk about the troops deploying because we do know that's happening.
Where are they going?
Germany.
Okay, they go to Germany all the time. That's
So
not a
they're
new
gonna go
thing.
in staging then.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not needed. It's a small show of force. Hopefully Putin's just dipping a toe.
So from God damn it. From everything that I've seen, it's not dipping a toe. There's missile and airstrikes on the capital in Ukraine. That's not dipping a toe. They're confirmed civilian casualties.
That's like a cannonball.
That's not dipping a toe.
I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah. That's been on the news since noon today.
I haven't watched the news.
Yeah. So he's not dipping a toe. He is full bore ahead. So if you want to play the what the fuck if game, China also sent nine
Called that one 2 weeks ago.
fighter craft into Taiwanese airspace.
Yeah, I heard that.
So you want to spitball and figure out what's going to happen? Because I've listened to enough guys talk about it that Russia's going to continue to push, China's going to invade Taiwan, and World War III is going to fucking happen. And then guess what Russia's going to do? They're going to come across Siberia. Because Alaska's a pretty good place for them to fucking land.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nobody wants to fight Russia in the winter.
Nope.
It was interesting listening to a lot of the soldiers back during the withdrawal of Afghanistan.
And you can tie a lot of it back to that.
Yeah, just with, I mean, there were so many, from our standpoint of the things we look at, like we look at, and we talked about here, like the mental health of the soldiers, feeling like it was all for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously that like emotional feeling of like, again, the all for nothing, just the images of seeing people fall from the planes. Like it was bad, losing 13 more service members. But then they also in the same breath were like, this sets a bad precedent.
Mm-hmm.
This emboldens other countries to do dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we did. And it's interesting. I'd like to talk to, a service member or a service family member and just be the feeling of like, God, here we go again. It's never ending.
Yeah,
and it's never ending due to like fixable solutions with leadership.
Well, I agree and disagree on that. And the reason that I disagree is because we're humans. Conflict has been part of human nature since the beginning of time. There's really not been a time in all of our civilization, recorded history, that there hasn't been war going on somewhere. Now, whether it's a border war between two countries or, like India and China where they throw rocks at each other or whatever, it's still going on. And it happens every day. And if not every day, then every other day. So that's probably not ever going to change because people are people. And not all people are good people. So...
And somehow those not good people usually find themselves in high positions of power.
Well, I was watching a Jocko podcast with Jordan Peterson. And they were talking about that. Episode 98 of the Jocko podcast. Go watch it. Enlighten yourself. So, but they were talking about that, about, people, we're a herd animal almost. Yeah, our eyes are in the front, we're predators, all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. But we have this amazing mentality to have that herd mentality, group think, the mob mentality, which allows us to do some pretty awesome things. To come together in huge construction projects or...
Just like bees.
Yeah, to do whatever, but it also allows us to do some pretty atrocious fucking things, like genocide. So, and all it takes is that fucking one person to stand up and go, hey, it'd be a great idea if we went and did this. And then all of his little buddies that think he's so awesome, hey, yeah, it's a really great idea. Go do this. And it always starts off small. Until finally, you're doing some pretty horrific fucking things. And then everybody that gets caught up in it, well, I was just following orders. Or I was just going along with everybody else. It's not my fault.
There was an NFL player recently that had to issue a public apology because they had asked him, like, if you could do dinner with one of the most influential people, who would it be? Like, who would you want to pick the brain of? And he was like, Adolf Hitler. And everyone was like, oh, my God. How dare you say Hitler? To which I say, name a more influential person in the history of the world. Doesn't necessarily have to be good.
Yeah.
It's who's more influential.
So why do you have to apologize for it?
Because it was Hitler.
Why are people apologizing for dumb shit?
Mm-hmm.
When did that become a thing?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'll Google cancel culture and find out for you.
Don't cancel me. I'm sorry that I said the same fucking thing you said last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for him. I've been kind of messaging some of my friends. Some are already in Germany and got deployed to Poland. Some are getting deployed to Germany. It just sucks.
Yeah.
I got friends that, like, their husband and wife that are in Germany, and they're probably going to have to literally ship their kids back here to stateside to be with their parents because they're both getting deployed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little shit we don't think about. That's not on the news.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of those things about being in the military. I mean, it's one of those things that people do not think about. Just like aspects of our job, aspects of the police department that people don't think about. I mean, it's like, yeah, we have to cook our own food. Yeah, we have to sleep at the fire station. Yeah, if a call comes in, we have to get the fuck up and go, And it's the same thing with the military. Whenever, you get your orders to go somewhere, it's not a request. It's a fucking order. You gotta go.
Something we were talking at the station last day. I literally think almost every shift for the last probably year, someone with either scrubs or a badge, like just in simple, easy going conversation, has asked the question like, what time are you off? When you get off? What time did you come to work? Like they don't know we work 24-hour shifts. And that's funny because before that's never been an issue, but I was noticing like there's been just so much turnover in our careers lately. So, like new nurses, new cops, like just kind of out of the loop of things like, like, damn, 24 hours? I'm like, what did you think we did? And it's funny, even kind of the other day, a cop friend of mine that has some time on, and he was training a new cop, and I was just chit-chatting, and he's like, you guys do 24 hours? And he was like, yeah, what did you think they do? He's like, I just never knew. And it's been fascinating. Like, even nurses are like, so what time are you off? I'm like, what time you think I'm off? Same time as always.
You ain't got to be a dick, James.
Well, no, it's just
They don't know. It's knowledge gap, man.
It's just been, but like I said, it's been just a lot of just turnover.
Yeah, because nobody wants our jobs anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting how you can go from, in a 20-year span, like, we're the heroes of America, to, like, hey, fam, just go sit in the corner and be quiet.
Yeah.
Cops, firefighters, nurses, everybody.
That's in a 2-year span.
True.
When COVID started, everybody loved us.
We got pizza parties,
Yeah.
signs in yards.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back to being the evil, money-sucking leeches. Because we're necessary evil when it comes to a budget.
And I think it's even worse than that. I don't even think we register.
It would be nice.
That's the way it feels anyway.
It would be nice to talk. I'm not trying to compare the two. I just think there are similarities between the two. Like, talk to a Vietnam vet. I was like, oh, let's protect our troops. Let's protect our troops when they leave, and when they come back, it's like, you're a monster. You're an animal. You have no support.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting. I saw a video the other day. It was, it was like they were at a diner, and there was a Vietnam vet there, and he had his.
Oh, it was a commercial. It's our Super Bowl.
Was it a commercial?
Mm-hmm.
Was it on during the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Because I only saw it online. I wasn't sure.
I saw it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he's sitting in a diner, and he's got like all of his tattoos. It's clear and he's a Vietnam vet, and a guy in uniform walks in, and they're like, "Oh, here's your free coffee," and the family's like, "Hey, can we take a picture with you?" and blah blah blah, and he's just kind of looking at it with disdain, and then the kid comes over and taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you? That man over here there said you're a hero." It's just, I feel bad for, especially like the police officers and the nurses and firefighters over the last like couple of years that probably started their careers feeling amazing, great, like they were in a great job, and left it going, what in the fuck did I just leave? It's gotta be a pretty good kick in the dick.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you give people a quarter of a story. You see all the videos online of cops fighting somebody, and you don't know what happened before the fight started, or what happened 5 minutes before. But you see the fight, or you see the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what led up to it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's watch the whole thing, and then let's see if it was a good shoot or a bad shoot. Because if it's a bad shoot, I'll say the same thing. Like, no.
Yeah.
But if it's justified, I'm like, yeah.
Well, and
give me all the information. That way I can make a decision.
But we don't operate that in our 15-second society.
No, because people don't have the fucking attention span, and they don't care to search.
No.
They don't care to see the whole story. Everything, it needs to be force-fed or spoon-fed to them. Not force-fed, but spoon-fed to them. That's what everybody wants, it easy, right now. And, I was talking to Rachel about that before you guys got here. About how, basically this goes back to leadership. We've fucked ourselves so hard in this country with all of the subsidies and everything else that we've been given to China for the past 20, 30 years. We have subsidized them to take over. Mm-hmm. We absolutely have. Because we have greedy politicians who don't think about 20, 30, 40 years from now. They think about right now. I can buy this jet, or I can do this, or I can do that. They're going to give me money for my campaign.
Yeah. How do you go into the...
China's playing the fucking long game.
And you bring up another point I wonder about, too. We are becoming more and more and more of a society. Like, I remember when I've done marketing courses, like, online for, like, advertising and stuff through social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about, like, minimizing the amount of words you put on a flyer, minimizing the words and time spent in like a video ad. Like, here's your target range, if you look at like a bell curve, of your peak attention span in said 15 seconds, and here's where you, like, literally 15 seconds, that's your target video time.
That's why TikTok videos are fucking 10, 20 seconds long. That's it.
And it makes me wonder if we take a step back from our view of things through this podcast, if we're really losing or winning the mental health war in this country. The more and more we shorten attention span, if we're really, like, people want it now, people need this, people want that. And how many times have we said mental health is not an overnight or 15-second video fix?
We're losing that battle so hard, it's not even funny. I mean, suicides have passed line of duty deaths for how many years now with the fire department? I think the past 2, 3 at least.
At least.
So suicide rates have gone up exponentially. Mental health issues have gone up exponentially in this country for the past, well, it's been the past 10 years, but it's really accelerated since the pandemic. Now, part of that, you could put that on the pandemic with people being isolated.
Well, you got fear-mongering, too.
Well, and the fear-mongering from the entertainment media. Because, I'm sorry, CNN and Fox News, they're not the fucking news.
No.
They're talking heads.
But when you talk about that in leadership, you're talking integrity. What happened to having integrity?
Well, there is no journalistic integrity anymore.
And reporting the facts, not what you want the facts to be.
Yeah.
Or answering a direct question and not dancing around it.
Yeah. Well, do a quick search. You could do a quick search on your phone and see who owns CNN, Fox, NBC.
Oh,
They're owned by
3 people.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
And they all have a fucking agenda that they want to push. So those people are going to say what they're told to say.
Yeah.
I remember that video a couple of years ago. It's like all the different news networks, and they're like literally saying the same thing line for line for line. I was like, what?
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is.
You cherry pick stories and and you show a certain angle or a certain section of video to elicit a reaction. And you distort facts.
Or just omit them entirely.
Or that.
You know, it's funny.
Keep repeating a lie over and over. I mean, I know the whole Rittenhouse thing caused a lot of controversy. And he sued these networks and won, just like Eric Salmon did.
I saw that he was suing them. I didn't know that he won.
Well, maybe he hasn't won yet, but he will. Now, he just came out the other day, him and his lawyers, they're going to sue LeBron James.
Good.
And
they should sue fucking Biden, too.
And they haven't said his name specifically, but they said everybody who needs to be held accountable is going to be held accountable. Because you pop off at the mouth before you know all the facts. Because you're given a snippet. And you need to wait to reserve judgment until you hear it all.
Oh, but how would you virtue signal with everybody else if you waited and got all the facts?
You know, you could truly argue that one of the most racist establishments in the history of this country would be the media. They'll be the first one to say, like, oh, this black man was shot by a white cop, unarmed, you know. But then also they'll turn around, they'll do the one story to get the attention, but then low-key they'll just flood you every day with, like, look at this black man that did this violent thing, look at this black man that did this violent thing, look at all this black violence. And so, I mean, growing up in a town that, like, that's when your news is kind of your outlet to what's going on in the city. Like, yeah, you're inundated. That's all you know. Look at all these black men doing these violent things in the city.
And you start forming an opinion at a young age.
Yeah, racism doesn't come from arrogance. It's formed by ignorance when you're inundated with that's all you know.
But then when you actually sit down and talk to somebody who's on the other side, like me, like us and James, or you can throw anybody in there, but you're not that different. We all want the same damn thing: to make a living and be left the fuck alone. I want to be treated with respect. You want to be treated with respect. It's pretty simple. It goes back to our episode, what was it, 3 or 4 ago? Don't be a dick.
Who's being a dick? Was it Jeremy? I don't remember.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I got the jacket. So.
He wears the hat all the time.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's got a big white spot on the top. I don't know.
Yeah, duh.
Okay.
I have no clue what he's talking about, but I'm just going to agree with him and not you, so I'm just really, yeah, duh.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thinker. You get it.
Okay. So.
Oh, I got it.
I'm so far ahead of you guys. You guys are over here playing checkers. I'm with Sheldon playing 3D chess.
Wow.
That was good. That was good.
He's been on 2 episodes in the past, like, month and a half, and that is the second Big Bang Theory reference.
It's a great show.
Yeah, but I don't think it needs to be referenced this hard.
I'll give you something that's hard.
Anyway, back to your question
right.
of whether or not we're losing the mental health battle
Yes.
in this country. Yes, we are. And it's
Here's the thing,
really
it takes-
evident.
The biggest thing it takes is money. And it takes people willing to do that job. And they're not, let's be honest, society revolves around money. It's a fact that we all need to get used to. You can't do anything without money. And it's, even though it's the root of all evil, so you got to fund mental health to get treatment and treatment centers and staffing and education, and then you got to get people to buy in to help.
I agree with you.
You're not getting any of that.
And don't agree with you. I don't know that money, no matter how much money you throw at it, unless you're dealing in reality in the situation,
You got to throw money out the right way.
No, yeah, I guess, like, because no amount of money is going to fix
So
some, like,
staffing. That's your biggest piece.
Mhm.
You don't have the staff. I don't know what the numbers are, but we'll call it 1 in 100. Let's just to make it easy. I don't know what the exact numbers are. So 1 mental health professional for every 100 people who needs it. That's a lot. You can say 1 in 50, still a lot. Now you got time. You don't have time as that one person to see that 100 or 50. Where are you going to see them at? You need education. You need continuing education because things change. The more we learn and the more we evolve, the more we understand. So you got all these components, but you got to have money to do all of that.
Well, and that's just your outpatient needs.
Yes.
Let's talk about inpatient for a second.
I'm gonna even skip ahead of you and say, let's look at throwing money at something to prevent the problem in general, not treat the problem. Then you're talking 3 times as much money.
Yeah. You're trying to catch it early.
Yeah.
Why would we do that? I mean, if we can treat the symptoms and make a lot of money, why would we cure a disease?
Why don't we teach life skills?
You're gonna get Clinton talking like that.
Wow.
I'm not that important.
Like, that makes sense. Suicide him.
You know, how come in school, how come we don't in school teach life skills? I learned how to write checks in school when I was like 5th grade.
Because we go broke if everybody has a good credit score.
And how to count back change. We had to take home ec. So you had sewing projects and cooking projects.
Yeah, I ran a call last night with someone who obviously never took home ec.
You know, we had family relations, you know, so you had to take the baby home that cried all frickin' night long. You know,
The greatest celibacy tool ever made.
That didn't work. Yeah, but it teaches you, but it's showing you how hard it really is, and a glimpse. You're getting a little bit of it, and what
If you take it seriously.
If you take it seriously, but like the baby they gave us, if the head went back, it clicked, and the teacher was able to see how many times that head clicked, and like, you know, it was during football season, so I had to find somebody during football practice to watch the baby. That wasn't easy. You know, but we don't teach these life skills, like how to cope with mental health. Like, I mean, look at bullying. It's a big push to stop bullying, right? And what do they tell you to do?
Tell the teacher.
And what happens?
Not a fucking thing.
99% of the time, probably nothing. And then you 'Cause
You
I
know
remember
what?
we had
You
this
know what
problem.
used to work?
Hey, you punch him in the face.
Yeah.
You know what? You might get your ass kicked, but you're going to do a lot of ass whooping too.
Yeah.
You might get me, but you're going to know you've been in a fight.
Did you guys see that story about Drake Hardman this past week?
No.
So Drake, it was I can't remember where it was. He was a middle schooler. He's 12 years old.
Is he the one that hung himself with a sweatshirt on his bunk bed?
Yep.
Then yes, I saw that.
Didn't see it.
12-year-old was having a bunch of bullying issues going on at school. School was aware of it, had disciplined the bully before. This kid was like so, I guess loving would be the word. He was still trying to be friends with the bully. And he came home one day with a black eye after getting beat up by the bully and hung himself by his favorite sweatshirt from his bunk bed. Dad found him, cut him down, did CPR. They got a pulse back, and he was alive for a few days, and the damage was done. But it just...
That's just one example of what goes on.
Yeah.
And it's never. So I mean, I know. Hearing stories of my parents were kids. It happened when I was in school. When you guys were in school, my son dealt with it.
We just didn't have social media to
And then
magnify it.
I get the call from the school that he got into a fight. I'm like, okay, who threw the first punch? Doesn't matter. The hell it doesn't. My son is not a punching bag. Period. Me and the principal didn't get along. It's like,
Shocker.
I was like, here's the deal. If you came up to me on the street and punched me in the face, I'm going to kick the holy living shit out of you. Period. I don't care. You do not put your hands on me. I'm not putting my hands on you. You don't put your hands on me. It matters. Don't care who you are. Keep your hands to yourself. And if you're a bully, your day's going to come where you can get your ass whipped. What was that town in Missouri? It was Missouri, wasn't it, where they made the movie with Brian Dennehy? He was the town bully, and they ended up killing him.
Ooh, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
I'm drawing a blank on that too. You're not talking about Rambo, are you?
No.
Because he died in that movie too.
No, did he live?
Oh, did he live?
Yeah.
He was just shot a lot.
Rambo let him live because of Colonel Troutman.
Oh, yeah.
God, I said I know that shit. But no, he was in it. It was a movie. I remember watching it when I was a kid, and it was a movie made in the 80s. He was like the bully of the town. It was a small town. I want to say it was here in Missouri. And town stood behind him when he was in his truck and lit him up. And then that was the end of it. Nobody saw anything. Now, I'm not saying that's the way you need to handle it, of course. But that's what it comes to eventually. People have enough. And you don't know how they're going to respond, but bullying is a major problem.
Well, I've heard even like in the job, there's that one guy that we've all heard it in all of our jobs, you know, like, why are you nice to him? Because he strikes me as the person that's going to kill me. Well, why don't you actually just be genuine to him? You know, like, everyone walks on eggshells around guys or wants to be nice to people because, like, oh, that's the guy that's going to go postal. That's your future school shooter. Like, just derogatory, terrible terms. I'm like, well, why don't we just be nice? Don't be a dick.
How about we be nice to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you
You respect me, I respect you.
show
period.
initiative and ask him, hey, man, what's going on? Because there's probably something going on there.
Yeah. I'm not excusing it by any means. But look at every, like, terrible, every shooting, every, you know, just a lot of these very public violent acts that we take back and look and we're like, oh, look at all these steps we missed. Well, because you're lazy. Because you were lazy.
The signs are there.
Yeah. I can only throw 19 so many red flags in your face till that's on you for just missing them.
Who's responsible for catching them?
Everybody.
So is that
doesn't
accountability?
Doesn't that go back to safety? Who's responsible for safety?
He got it. Accountability.
Accountability.
No, safety.
I mean, how many calls do we run at work that's like, hey, go respond to this call. What is it? We don't know. What are they doing? We don't know. Well, what happened? We don't know. Somebody just called it in.
Mm-hmm.
Did they stop? No.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the time. So, I mean, yeah, it's on everybody to take care of themselves, obviously. But also, whenever you see something,
say something.
yeah, even if you're not going to be the person to fucking step in and intervene, there's people to call.
Well, that's the thing too. And
At least pull your phone out and record it.
Yeah, that shit just needs to stop.
well, then we wouldn't have TikTok videos.
That's true. Or World Star.
World stuff.
I don't even fucking. I'm tired of hearing about TikTok. I mean,
Hey, here's the thing. Whether you like it or not, it is a part of our society and is very functional. Like, here's the thing.
it's part of the dumbing down of our society.
frequent-
we just talked about that
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
As a frequent scroller of the TikToks, you know what I see ads for? Like, mostly because it's all super targeted. You know how that works.
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing more and more ads on my Facebook and my TikTok now for like mental health services. I think Cerebral is one of the big ones I've been seeing. It's like, only have 15 minutes a day? Need to improve your mental health? Go to Cerebral, where
Yeah,
you
I've
can
seen
talk
that
to a virtual counselor for 15 in your spare time. And I'm like, now we're just on a money grab. That's all we are. Now we're just on a money grab.
yeah.
It's a joke. But we throw
remember-
mental health at it. It's like
But remember, we're talking about those programs.
it's like the health food pandemic. Oh, we just say it's healthy.
So
And
TikTok,
charge twice the money
Facebook,
for it.
Instagram, all of that stuff, they all run off of an algorithm.
Mhm.
So if you sit there and all you watch are mountain bike crashes or whatever else the fuck you watch, that's all you're going to see. You're
start
never
getting
going to see.
bicycle helmet ads. Like,
Yeah, you're never going to see any of those mental health ads, and that shit needs to fucking change.
Yeah.
Like social media in our country and worldwide
It's
has
co-
way too much fucking power.
It's funny because they're like, a lot of the issues
About to
are
get
caused
Zuckerberg.
by social.
Fuck that motherfucker.
A lot of the issues are caused by social media, and then
No.
some sadistic asshole said, "Hey, let's advertise on social media." Like, people are killing themselves left and right because of online bullying. Let's make a post online about how bullying isn't nice. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it works. People just suck it in. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you see an uptick with the mental health. I don't know what the right term of it is. Like, we're seeing more mental health problems with younger and younger people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
it's really
tied
been
back to
Capitol Hill. This
Yeah.
issue has been on Capitol Hill.
yeah, it is tied back to social media. I mean, young adults and children. Remember, people, your brain is not fully formed until you're in your late 20s. Late 20s.
Yeah, what did they say? 25 or 26
Yeah,
on average.
on average.
You know when the average onset of paranoid schizophrenia is, or bipolar schizophrenia?
Right at that time.
Fascinating.
Between 25 and 30.
It's fascinating.
Mhm.
It's fascinating
Yeah.
and scary. Like,
Yeah. It's real fucking scary, especially when you're acute with somebody
I was
who has had that.
I've been, working in a hospital, and there was a young gal that came in. She was a D1 soccer player, really popular on her campus, big campus, all American honor, like fantastic.
Mhm.
And she broke.
I was in acute with a doctor, a surgeon, who just snapped. And it was that. He had a family history of it and everything. And I, sitting down trying to have a conversation with that guy was fucking scary. He was on a whole nother planet.
And that's what's scary too, is like, how do you, like, oh, you have a history of heart disease in your family. Be healthy.
Mhm.
Okay. Like, oh, you have a history of high blood pressure. Like, work out. Okay. Like, oh, you have a history of paranoid schizophrenic. Good luck.
Yeah.
There's no,
Here's this bottle that rattles.
It probably not going to work, but
Good luck.
yeah. Call us if you need us.
it's scary.
Yeah.
And what sucks is that, like we've seen people have invested so much, like put themselves, in such great places to succeed, done great things.
Mhm.
Wasted, essentially wasted.
Mhm.
That sucks.
Yeah. Really does. So, and you're seeing an uptick in all of those, the bipolar diagnosis, the ADHD, which, I mean, that kind of started whenever I was a kid. You know, I'm sure it was probably really prevalent whenever you were a kid. They're just pushing
I was a
meds.
Ritalin kid.
Yeah. Just pushing that shit. It fucks your brain up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really does. I mean, unless there's and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a fucking expert. I can just give you anecdotal stories and evidence. But you start medicating kids, especially meds that mess with their brains, you're going to fuck them up for life.
It changes the chemical makeup of their brain.
It does.
I'll be the first one to tell you, I am a proud product of trial and error in pediatric psychiatric medicine. I was on Ritalin from the 2nd grade, so since I was 7, for ADHD. And then so here's a fun one for you. A week and a half after my mom was killed, I was in PTSD counseling. Which to me was, let's go play with cool toys in the doctor's office and get yelled at for not paying attention. 'Cause I didn't know I was there. Oh, he's not paying attention. Let's increase his Ritalin and let's put him on Paxil. He's pretty depressed and he's denying it when he's here in the office. Like, oh, the Paxil's not working. Let's keep him on the Paxil, but let's also start him on Seroquel.
Nice.
Like, oh, yeah.
They just went for the gusto, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Last thing, we want to throw pills at it. And, you know.
That was when I was 12.
You got
all 3 of those when I was 12 years old.
You got certain companies who pay a lot of money for people to take pills.
Yeah.
Problem. Opioids. How long have they been pushed? Don't like them.
Yeah.
Hip surgery. I took them 3 days. For 3 days. That's it. I'm done. I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I can handle this.
I do wonder, like,
who's held accountable for that?
Nobody.
Oh, the drug companies, they'll pay a little. So have you ever heard about how
They're shell corporations?
You ever heard about, so here's what they do.
We're going to conspiracy theory here.
No, they've fucking admitted it. So what they'll do is they develop a drug. So like Oxy, right? They know it's addictive. They know it will fuck people up. But they also know that they can sell this many units and push this, and they're going to make $6 billion. And then in 10 years or 15 years, after they've made all this money, and then it's become a generic brand, then they're going to get sued, and they're going to pay out $2 million, $2 billion even. Well, they made 6. It's a profit margin. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
So a lot of them have a shell corporation. So you pick a drug company, doesn't matter. So we're going to call it Bees. Well, Bees has a shell corporation. It's BEES. Their shell corporation is BZZ. And that's what the drug is sold through. So the drug does what it does. It works, but has...
And how much does that shell corporation have in its account? $1.
Yeah. And then when you sue them, oh, well, we don't own it. They do. So then that company they pay out and they get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now we've got Bees, BSZZ.
Mm-hmm.
That's their other shell corporation.
It's like the fucking nursing homes.
It's a game.
Like they keep getting shut down.
Yeah. And just some other company comes in and takes it over, but it's really the same fucking company.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I read that. I wish I could remember.
Well, that's just basic shell corporation 101. Like it.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember too when I was always getting changed through like psych meds and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, here's your sample packs. I have some of these here in the office. We'll start you on these, and then you have your prescriptions. Like, oh look, they're free. Let's start you on this.
What's the kickback the doctors are getting for prescribing these meds?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always wondered. Well, why this one over that one? You got 5 choices. Why are you giving every patient this?
Well, why does the insurance company get to decide what treatment you get or not?
Mm-hmm.
They're not fucking doctors.
I'm very much of the mindset, like, and you can call me some hippie liberal or whatnot, but I think,
hippie
you guys,
liberal.
You know me enough to know that, like, this is that's not true, but like I don't think any psychiatric med should be prescribed to anybody under 18.
I don't so I don't disagree, but I don't totally agree.
I think as long as your brain is continuing to develop, there should be no chemical interdiction.
I think you need to see more than one doctor. Get like a third, fourth opinion type thing.
All that's going to do is just give you 3 or 4 different meds.
Well, no, so
but you have to come to a consensus.
There are legit issues that stem from chemical imbalances. Now, the issue is with prescribing meds to somebody that young is a lot of times the meds that they need or will get prescribed, they have to be on forever because your body has this like energy conservation mode where like testosterone, we'll use that for an example. So if you start taking testosterone, your body will stop producing it and then we'll never produce it again. So you have to take it forever.
So here's my question though. What's the difference between a chemical imbalance and a chemical difference? Look, let's study the 90s babies. Like, let's throw Ritalin and Adderall at these kids left and right because we think they have ADHD and it's a chemical imbalance. But now we come out and say they're just different learning styles. They're more creative. They're more visual. Like 20 years later now we realize, oh, well, they were just different. They're just different modalities that we can approach them with.
I wonder
not a chemical imbalance.
I wonder how much of that plays into the issues that we're seeing with mental health and suicide right now.
That's like things like that. If you're going to tell me in 20 years, it's the same, quite frankly, it's the same argument some people are having for the vaccine. We don't know yet. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but they're not saying we don't know. They're saying you need to take this. You have to take this. No, I'm saying like
people are saying we don't quite know yet.
Yeah.
But, back in the 90s, we're like, oh, yeah, cool. The doctor says so. But that's also, we're coming out of that generation of doctor says it, so we do it. I'm still trying to break my grandpa of that thought process sometimes.
I think there's still a majority of the population that, well, I don't want to say majority.
The large majority of the med-taking population members, the elderly.
Yeah. Well, I think a large number of the population still believe that, though. That's partially why this vaccine thing with COVID is such a big deal. Because there are people who are like, no. And then there are people like, well, the experts say this is what we need, so we're going to take it. And if you don't take it, then you're the fucking devil. Well, guess what? The experts have changed their fucking opinion about 80 times in the past 2 years. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Wear 2 masks. Social distance. Well, that doesn't work either. Okay, well,
Well, and then, and not to get super political, go down that rabbit hole, but we've also heard well, yeah, it changes its science. We know.
Yeah.
So don't give us foolproof answers right off the bat. I remember when it first came out, they're like, if you take this, you won't get COVID, you won't give COVID. That was the narrative said. I'm like, okay, cool. That's why I got it. So I didn't get it and give it to my grandpa because that's what they said. Now they're like, this is one of my favorite memes I saw. They're like, well, you won't get COVID. Well, you probably won't get COVID, but you might get COVID. Well, you could definitely get COVID, but it won't be that bad. Well, you'll definitely get COVID, but the symptoms won't be that bad. And it's like, well, you'll get COVID and you could die. Yeah. And it's like, well, you'll get COVID and die, but you might get to go to heaven. like it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, is people don't pay attention and they forget. They don't do their research, they don't.
But let's look at the 90s too. Like we did not have the ability to research in the palm of our hand.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people still will. Sorry.
No, you're good.
People will still, they will see one thing. So like we can use COVID as an example, right? So they came out with the whole wear a mask and social distance, right? So then they changed the guidelines.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah, 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
2.5 years later.
Yeah. So, but then they changed the guidelines of, well, now you have to have this mask and full PPE and all this stuff. And you got other people just fucking, no, they said any mask is fine.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Well, they changed the guidelines. Well, I didn't see that. Okay. Do your research. Stay up on whatever. And then we find out that it's all been fucking bullshit. As far as wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it around the John Hopkins study that just came out. And
That did not get media attention at all.
Yeah, 62 or 63 pages of basically everything they did.
The lockdown was ineffective.
Masks were ineffective. Vaccines ineffective.
Yeah.
And I haven't read it yet.
It basically
But I want to read it.
I read it.
See it and how I interpret what they're.
I read it, and it basically it's a numbers game, and it's outweighing. Like, it's a numbers game, and so it's basically saying like the lockdown did not prevent the spread. Like, it, if anything, it slowed it, which then hurt us more economically, and the lockdowns essentially serve no purpose other than just 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Is everybody go to the local swimming pool, give it to each other, and get over this and move on. Mm-hmm. All we did was drag it out.
Yeah.
But back to, like, I knew we were going to go down this rabbit hole. Back to my point of, this is why I believe that we shouldn't. Huh? Are you talking shit?
No, I gotta go home.
Oh.
It's getting there.
But this goes back to the point of, like,
Sorry.
I don't think we should start messing with brains under 18. Because what we may call a chemical imbalance today is actually just a chemical difference tomorrow.
It could be.
Yeah, and I
know.
don't disagree with you. Like I said, I don't agree. I don't disagree.
But we don't want to take our kids' health. We don't want to chance our kids' health.
Yeah, just like the whole vaccine and myocarditis thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I saw a report that says, well, if you wait for 8 weeks to get your second shot,
I just saw that.
you may not get the myocarditis. I'm sorry. Me personally, you take it for what it is. I'm going to take my 99% chance, 99.04% chance that I'm going to have zero symptoms and zero ill effects to my 80% chance that I'm going to get fucked up.
So Jane and I we tested positive a few weeks ago, and we both got the original 2 vaccines from Pfizer, and she was way sicker than I was. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying the vaccines had anything to do with that, because whenever we both get sick with the same thing that runs through your house, she's always way sicker than I am, and I'm usually pretty light on the symptoms. In 15 years we've been together, she's seen me throwing up once. That's it. It's different body types.
It was
genetics, blood type.
There's a whole lot that plays into it where you can't just say, oh, yeah. And plus, by the time the vaccines came out, we'd gone through, everybody probably had it, and some people didn't even realize it, or most people. And so your body's already started to build up the immunity to it and knows how to fight it off better.
I know, I
And
tested.
your different strains of it.
I tested positive and had zero symptoms for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Wallace didn't get it at all. Still don't know how that happened. I tested negative, was around, like, 3 days after I tested negative, I was around a friend that was positive and had cold symptoms. I didn't care. I just had it. I'm fine. I got the antibodies, plus I'm vaccinated. I get the same symptoms he has for 2 weeks and test negative the entire time. I was like, the fuck?
Well, I mean, because the evidence is out there that the tests they're using are not fucking accurate.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of false positives. So he may have had COVID, may not have had COVID. He could have just had the fucking flu.
Got a sinus infection. That's that time of year.
Yeah.
Because also when we got sick was by the time of year I always get a sinus infection.
Well, dude, perfect example.
I'm not saying I didn't have it. I'm not saying I did. I tested positive, so I'm rolling with I did.
I tested 4 straight shifts because everybody at the station that I was at got it. Everybody. I tested 4 straight shifts. Never got it.
You know what I want to do? Talk to your wife. I'm interested in now because you got me thinking. Since we need to wrap this episode up anyway, I really want to kind of dive into the. I'm going to do a couple episodes on, like, childhood development in regards to what we talk about. Whether it be childhood trauma leading to careers of public service.
There's a direct correlation with that.
Looking back now, and a 20-year look back on different medications prescribed to children of different, what we thought at the time were psychiatric disorders. I'm curious. I'd like to talk to someone smarter than us about it.
Take your pick.
Let's talk to your wife. It's like our little encyclopedia knowledge up there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just three dumbasses sitting around bullshitting,
Yeah.
asking questions. And our opinions could be wrong. We don't know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely could be
if
wrong.
You show me the data, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Yeah. Maybe.
Depends on how you present it.
Yeah. It depends on where you get your data from.
Yeah.
If you get it from CNN, you can fuck off.
If you get it from any of those news outlets, fuck off. Because, I try to be middle of the road, but they're Fox and CNN, MSNBC. Go down the list, and they're just shit.
Yeah.
I'll blame Ron Burgundy, but...
Well,
That's what America needs. Is Ron Burgundy reporting the news every night.
He's the
Fuck
one that
you, San Diego.
Yeah. He's the one that ruined it in the first place.
Yeah. Him and speculating during a car chase.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Haven't you? It's a fucking documentary. You never seen it?
Dude, I'm telling you, if we had all the money in the world and tonight we made a network and we're like, hey, Ron Burgundy's coming on, and we just had Will Ferrell read the news every night, Fox and CNN would plummet. Absolutely plummet.
It's not wrong.
No.
You just told Ron Burgundy, hey, just report the facts. Let's not put any spin on this. Let's just give some good entertainment to America.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Walter Cronkite was the last one. Sat there, read the news, didn't give you his opinion. Good night.
Well, that's what the news is supposed to be. It's supposed to be facts.
Dan Rather.
Dan Rather went off his fucking rocker
Towards
at
the
end. And he got very political.
Yeah. Early Dan Rather was good, though.
I mean, just like when we run a call. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care if you hate me. I'm there to help. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of the conversation. I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
It's so annoying, though, the last, 5 years, 6 years now, we've had to been like, how many quarters are $1? What day of the week is it? All right, whether you like him or not, who's the president?
Yeah.
Like, you have to preface that now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always a preface.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to come up with a different question. I'm tired of asking it.
Yeah. Half the time they don't even answer. Like, who's the president? And they're like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Who's the best superhero?
Well, then that gets you into a debate.
Yeah. Hey, your patient's having a stroke, so when you guys are done debating this, can we get him on the road?
But hey, you know what? They can make a strong argument, be like, all right, they're good to go. And we can all have fun.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC?
We'll see. Two different things.
Yeah.
Marvel.
No.
Well, looks like you're not going to the hospital today, asshole.
Now, are we talking about heroes or anti-heroes?
Who's the best villain? Who's the strongest villain?
Again.
To me, it's always going to be Joker and his ability to create chaos. You have to destroy things. You just let people destroy it for you.
That's the only thing I hate about Batman. There's no killing rule.
That's why I'm a fan of Deadpool.
Yep. Because seriously, how many lives does Batman cost?
Mm-hmm.
That's always the big question. I mean, I understand. I applaud his moral code. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. No killing. That's awesome. But how many innocent people have died because you can't kill a clown? And it's a clown. People hate clowns.
I want to know how many people Batman is paralyzed, because I've seen some of the shit he does. Like, cool, you didn't kill him, but he's a veggie. Great. I heard his neck fucking snap.
Or the fucking batarangs? Come on, they can put somebody's eye out. You got what are those things, like 6-8 inches long? That's getting stabbed. You could totally sever an artery and kill somebody.
Like, you hit
it's
that
not
dude,
like he fucking gives them first aid.
No, you hit that dude across the room at approximately 70 miles per hour against that wall, and then he fell to the floor. Just because at the end of the scene he went, doesn't mean that he's in survivable shape.
Well, yeah, like anybody Superman's ever punched.
Yeah. Don't tell me they're alive. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, see, I never said that.
Normal people get thrown through a wall. We die.
Why does Superman take the beatings he takes? Just fly him into space, man. Yeah.
Like Hancock. Do it like Hancock.
Yeah. I'm done.
Do I have permission to touch your body?
Good job.
Oh, shit. It's that time.
Yeah. Well,
We'll end it on Hancock.
yeah. Probably.
Actually, they're making Deadpool 3.
I also heard
Yeah.
a rumor that Deadpool is going to start being the new Stan Lee cameo in all the Marvel movies.
Really?
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
It was an online article, but it'd be super cool if it was.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. Keep that going.
Yeah. I knew. Well, I mean, they were gonna make a Deadpool 3.
Yeah, but I mean the Deadpool cameo. And it's taken over for Stan Lee because that was one of my favorite parts of all the Marvel movies was Stan Lee being there.
I did see a rumor that Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome. That is Wolverine.
Yeah, he's too old. Sometimes you just age out of a part. I don't want to see him hang on too long.
That's the great thing about the multiverse.
Oh, so they're going to CGI him like they did Luke Skywalker and fucking Boba Fett?
I was happy with that.
I haven't seen Boba Fett yet.
I was not happy with that.
I was happy with that in The Mandalorian.
I would have been happier if they would have just recast the character.
No, I was happy with it.
Yeah. Well, agree to disagree.
But I'm right. Thanks for stopping by.
Haven't seen Boba Fett yet. It's on my list.
Sorry, Jeremy ruined it for you.
No, the internet ruined it for me.
Yeah. If he doesn't know what happened by now, then
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I also know Cad Bane shows up.
kind of a wasted character.
In the Clone Wars, he was awesome
Yeah.
in the cartoon. But if you don't, if you're gonna bring those guys back in these shows, or have them in the shows, you got to use them the way they are.
I was legitimately like, there were parts that I liked.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think they missed the mark.
It happens.
It does.
We'll see what they do with the Obi-Wan.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
I'm excited about that.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we didn't really talk about what we were going to talk about.
It was a hodgepodge.
So,
But we talked.
But we talked. So there, you got content. You fucking happy?
You got to hear. You were blessed with the sound of our voices.
Yeah.
I think more is Jeremy happy because he got content.
Yeah.
Tired of having that conversation.
Aren't you taking a step back?
Trying. You're not letting me. 2 in a row, dude.
I don't come fucking pick you up. You
Fire
drive
me.
yourself
No.
over here.
I quit.
He browbeats you. Makes you feel guilty. Like, I'm sorry. I want to have dinner with my wife and hang out with my dogs. My bad. Screw me for being a good husband. Try it sometimes.
Just my leadership style. I manipulate.
Hey, we can't say he's not an effective leader anymore because we're both fucking sitting here against our will.
Yeah, I won't be here next week.
All right, everybody. So if you stuck around, which I hope you did,
Sorry.
thanks for tuning in. If you know somebody that is having an issue, reach out to them. If you're having an issue, there are resources out there. You are not alone. That's one of the big lies that our little brain will play a trick on us and tell us we're the only one going through something, but you are not. So, yeah, reach out and have a good one. Thanks for stopping by.